Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Duality9Xers around the world. Welcome back. These are your world and national news that are trending. So, these are the headlines, guys. Romania. Romania elects a math genius as president. I don't know if you guys have been following the news, but apparently, look, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of countries actually that are out there that are quite worried about the economy. And here's a country like Romania that comes out of the woodwork and says, you know what? We've seen the playbook all too many times. We've seen actors become presidents and prime ministers. We've seen really high end lawyers and people with like unbelievable, impeccable political science backgrounds. And to what? And here they are changing the whole scheme of things. And Romania comes out and says, we're going to elect somebody with a mathematical background. They've elected Nicusar Dan, a former math protege, with 2 gold medals from the International Mathematical Olympiad. And he won Romania's first general election with the campaign promise of rebuilding the country. And I'm sure with somebody with their skill set, I think they will not only rebuild the country but rebuild the economy. I mean, I think we should all maybe take a page out of this book and elect mathematical or officials or people with a mathematical background. Can't talk today, guys. Can't talk. Okay. What else is happening? What else is trending in the news? The top naval powers in 2025, according to the latest global firepower rankings. I didn't even know there was a global firepower rankings. They reveal, according to their reports, that the strongest navies in the world, with the U.S. leading, of course, followed by China, Russia, and India. That's interesting. And all of these countries spend a large part of their GDP on their military. So interesting to see there. Flying cars are here. Now, the first flying car successfully completed an intercity test flight, and it will be priced between, get this, guys, $800,000 to $1 million with a top speed of 155 miles an hour. All right, guys, just take that in. I mean, it was fun watching flying cars on the Jetsons and watching them on shows. And of course, how many movies, sci-fi movies, it's really cool to just kind of hop into your vehicle. I mean, and just fly, right? I mean, how many times, I'm just trying to think of, yeah, I mean, the traffics, the morning commutes to work and leaving work are brutal, right, to say the least. Especially if you live in areas like, the greater Toronto area or Vancouver, some of the bigger places like Los Angeles. Los Angeles is brutal. I mean, traveling from one end to another, I mean, that's an easy 2 hours. Toronto, I mean, I heard a lot of people like from downtown core Toronto. They said that traveling to their office sometimes in the morning, I mean, traveling to the office to and from their home, they're looking at anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half on the road, right? And sometimes it gets like that in a lot of these other bigger cities as well. So, yes, the thought of having a flying car is definitely appealing. I don't know how many times I thought I just wish I was able to take a helicopter ride or you know turn another switch on my vehicle and it just goes airborne so I can get to where I need to get to in the least amount of time. But with a price tag of about close to $1 million and top speeds of 155 miles an hour, I mean, you're like pretty much in an airplane. You're like in a little mini airplane. So I don't know if that's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing. Like that kind of technology can help things. But can you imagine the average driver getting into their vehicle and flying their vehicle? Now, how many times have you said this before? Uh, like with all the crazy drivers that are on the road, right? Because of course we're not crazy, right? We're perfect drivers, right? So it's everybody around us but us that sucks when it comes to their driving abilities. Now, can you imagine those people behind the wheel of their vehicle? I mean, it's and flying it. Like it's hard to sometimes fathom some of these individuals driving on the road with the amount of carelessness and lack of attention that they have on the roads. Now you want to put them in vehicles that can fly above our city at top speeds. Boy, that could be that could be disastrous. I'm just thinking about this now. I'm getting a little bit worried. I don't know if they're just gonna kind of let certain folks do that, or if there's like kind of obviously special licensing, things like that related to that. But very, very interesting. I'll be following up more on the story as it becomes relevant, of course. The world's tallest apartment building. Did you know that the world's tallest apartment building is in Brazil? It's called the Sena Tower, and it's officially the tallest building in the world. And it's about 1,800 feet tall with, get this, 154 floors. So automatically, if you're thinking about potentially relocating and moving into this building, and of course, if you're eyeing the penthouse suites, you're probably looking at about a whopping $53 million for a penthouse suite on the 154th floor, 1,800 feet high, in the world's tallest apartment building in Brazil. Wowzers! That's crazy. More to follow on that news, of course. And see here. India's economy continues to grow. Of course, India remains the fastest growing major economy, currently ranked fourth globally on par with Japan. The International Monetary Fund forecasts steady growth despite global economic uncertainties. So yeah, there's obviously a lot of concerns in the markets right now, and yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with them. Okay, to U.S. national news. So if you guys have been following the story with Donald Trump, the president of the United States, talking about the possibility of reopening the Alcatraz prison. And of course, Alcatraz, very, very famous, in San Francisco. President Trump has proposed the reopening of the infamous Alcatraz prison, which everybody knows was there to house some of the most dangerous criminals, bad dudes, in and around the country. At one time, and obviously they shut it down, and it became kind of like, now it's like a tourist kind of a facility. You can go there, and take a look, and yeah, so there's some really, really bad people that were there, and this idea obviously is sparking a lot of debate, a lot of criticism. There's a lot of discussion that surrounds it, because obviously the government has deemed this place as a national historic kind of landmark. And now the President of the United States is looking at possibly reopening it and serve as its original purpose, which is to house those criminally insane bad dudes. So interesting we'll have to follow that as well. These tornadoes that are hitting the Midwest, it's scary stuff, guys. I think in one of my previous videos I was talking about how I'm noticing that there's a lot more natural disasters that are happening, a lot more than I can recall over the last, I don't know how many, several years, but it seems like natural disasters are really picking up, and they're starting to become a lot more frequent and a lot more devastating when they come around. So, it's unfortunate for the people in the Midwest. There's so much devastation that these tornadoes are leaving behind. So far, to date, 21 people have been, yeah, 21 people have lost their lives, unfortunately. And scores, dozens more are in critical condition. This is really sad, and those numbers obviously are the numbers that we're getting from some of the news outlets, local news outlets, and national news outlets. I feel like those numbers are grossly inaccurate. I think it's a lot more, and but we'll only come to know once people start to really assess what's going on. But you know that those tornadoes have been sweeping through the Midwest, areas like Missouri and Kentucky, and they just caused widespread chaos and destruction. And I feel for the people. I feel for the folks that live in that area, and our hearts, our thoughts and prayers go out to them and their families, and for those who lost their lives. It's really sad. It's widespread devastation and destruction, and hopefully they could get the much needed help that they deserve. Former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and an aggressive form of pancreatic cancer, and it's spread to his bones now apparently. And there's support and messages kind of pouring in worldwide. We got Mexican Navy ship. Did you hear about this? A Mexican Navy ship crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge, the 147-year-old Brooklyn Bridge. I mean, another iconic bridge, which I had a chance to walk over, and beautiful, beautiful bridge. Apparently the ship was kind of coming in and boom, collided with the bridge. The bridge was the bridge. The bridge wasn't going anywhere. The bridge was static in its position. And here's this ship comes in, and boom. Unfortunately, 2 people lost their lives on the ship and injured about 20 other people. But so far, no other news to come out of that. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I'm sure President Trump is going to have. We'll talk about this, considering that this was a Mexican Navy ship that hit the Brooklyn Bridge. So those are the headlines for today. I want to thank you guys for joining us. We've got more other headlines, so if you guys like and hear what you see, please smash the like and subscribe button, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a great rest of the day.